Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and today it's time for episode 13 of our Tampa Bay Lightning franchise mode here in NHL 24. And in today's video, we're going to be simulating, I'm going to say, the first 41 games of the 2026-27 NHL season. If everything's going good, I might go to the trade deadline. I'm not sure about that. I just kind of want to see how the simulation goes, and then we will go from there. But with that being said, let's take a quick look at the lineup and then start the simulation. Overall, the lineup is pretty similar here to your standard Tampa Bay Lightning franchise mode. Made a couple of changes. Obviously, we brought in Malkin in the last episode in free agency. A couple of the younger guys, Howard, Duke, Huchinainen. But overall, it's pretty standard as to what it is in real life. We have Christian Kyrou on defense, got him in a trade last episode. We signed Braden McNabb, a really good defensive player. And your goalies, no change there, Vasyrovsky and Allenfelt. Scratches are Thompson and Fortinier. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy overall here. Let's get into the simulation. So let's jump into this one against Columbus to start the season. First period here, 2-0 Jackets, Boone-Jenner and Chinakhov. Second period, 2-2 Perbix and Stamkos. And finishing the game, we do win 5-3. Sergachev, Hedman, and Hagel for us, and Voronkov for them. So a win to start the season is never a bad thing, as we will be facing the Pittsburgh Penguins up next. Obviously, Malkin's former team. I believe they traded him to Vancouver, so he's not coming straight from Pittsburgh to us. We do lose to them by a score of 4-3. But overall, I think this is going to be a pretty quick episode, as we are an established team. Adding Malkin should definitely bolster the scoring on our side. So yeah, I'm not sure if we'll just call it at the halfway mark or if we will just go to the trade deadline in this episode. Simulating through the Panthers here, we do sit 5-2. Very good start to the season for us here. As point does go down, that's definitely not ideal. I don't think it's the longest term thing. So we'll make a couple of adjustments here. Get Srelly in, throw Paul up, throw Lafferty to the middle, and put it in Fortinier here. Then the power play lines are all messed up, unfortunately. Again, I don't think it's the longest term injury there from what I saw. We'll just substitute all in here. I wish substituting in all lines actually did work correctly in this game. Unfortunately, that's still a bug from, I want to say, a couple years now, unfortunately. And then the roles are duplicated here. I'll just make Stamkos the finisher there with his gold 1T. And I think everything should be good. We'll switch Vasilevsky out here since it's the back-to-back. As we go against the Panthers, we lose 4-1. I'll keep Allenfelt in for a couple of games here, as there's Point, he's ready to go. Let him sit for a couple of games just to make sure there's no lingering injury here. As we lose 4-1 to the Devils as well. We lose to the Islanders, and I want to say that's 4 straight losses. Let's get Point back in there. He should be fully healed by now. And yeah, it does look like he is ready to come back to the lineup here, so we'll put everyone back where they were. And getting Point back will be a huge addition to the offense, as he is, 94 overall, our highest rated player. So there we go. Let's go up against the Caps here. See if we can rebound, get back to 500. As we do, we win by a score of 5-2 there. Switch the goalies here again quick. Enough of Allenfelt, he's been piling up the losses. Switch the AHL ones here quickly. So now that that is all taken care of, let's get back to the calendar here. And we are up against the Philadelphia Flyers here. We do beat them 2-1. As Roman Schmidt goes down the AHL. Up against Columbus, we beat them 4-2. As we sit 8-6-0. Stamkos is above a point per game still, which is very, very good to see. Let's take a look at the stats here quick. See if there's any changes that we need to be making. A couple of minuses on that Stamkos-Malkin line. Edmonds minus, Groshev, Perbix -6, that's not good. We gotta probably make a change there. Paul -9. So, looks like the bottom 6 is really giving us issues. Goaltending's actually not too bad. Overall, numbers are looking alright. Let's see what we can do. See if we can make a couple of line changes here that may spark the team. I still want to keep Malkin on that second line. Let's move Isaac Howard up. We got to get him growing. We got to get him some points here, so take out Perbix, let's get Thompson in. He's been good for us in the past couple of seasons here that we've simulated, so let's give him his chance to get back into the lineup. Simulate this one against the Penguins, why not? We'll jump into it. 1-1 after the first, Groshev and Ponomarov. Hedman for us in the second makes it 2-1. And we do hold on to win by a score of 2-1. So that is very good to see as we sit 9-7-0 here early on in the season. As Malkin does go down, that's not ideal. There goes our second line center there. So just kind of move everyone up. Again, I don't think it was the longest term injury, I didn't really see, but we will slot him back in when he comes back. Up against the Jets here, and yeah, there you go, Malkin's ready to come back. We'll get him in right now. We have a couple days in between the next game here. So we will slot these guys all back in where they were. And get Malkin back, who has dropped to an 84, which is unfortunate, but the thing I found with a lot of the really good players in real life now that are already in the game, they stay better even though their overall drops off a cliff. They still simulate insane, they still put up crazy amounts of points. That's one of the reasons why we went out and we got Malkin, so. As we lose 7-2 to the Devils, that's not great. We do play them in about a week's time here, just under. See if we can get some redemption against them. Put Isaac Howard on the top line there, see if we can get him going. We'll kind of balance out that second line a little bit more with Hagel moving down. I'm definitely okay with that. So we lose to the Flames. Switch the goalies again. Let's get Vasyrovsky back in. As Allenfelt hasn't been amazing early on to start the season, but it's a small sample size as well. Can we get our redemption here against the Devils? We don't. We do pick up the extra point though, which is good. Let's see, against the Canadians, same thing, get the extra point, but we do lose the game unfortunately. Back-to-back games against the struggling Hawks, as we do unfortunately lose Braden McNabb here. So I guess that means we'll probably just throw Perbix back in there as Thompson. Yeah, +6, 5 points, 9 games, that's really good. He simulates really good for whatever reason, so definitely leave him there. Another overtime loss, it's our third straight loss in the extra time here. As McNabb is basically ready to come back. We'll wait a couple days here. 4-1 win over the Hawks there. Let's get Braden McNabb back in the lineup. Take out Perbix here as he just got into 1 or 2 games there. Nothing too crazy. As we face the Stars up next. Stars are a very good team, 16-6-3. We do lose Isaac Howard, unfortunately, so there goes our top line left wing that we were kind of trying to give a opportunity here this season. Let's throw Groshev back up on that top line. We know he produces very good in those situations, so. As we sit 13-10-4 at the moment, that is good to put us in 3rd in our division, which isn't too bad. Again, I kind of have us on a cruise control here. I know I said that last episode, or last season here too, and we unfortunately did miss, but I like the addition of Malkin, I like the addition of McNabb, so hoping that'll be enough here to get us back into the playoff hunt. Let's see here. I'll get Isaac Howard back on that top line. We definitely want to try and develop him pretty good. I've seen him get pretty good in other franchise modes that I've watched before, so switch the AHL goalies there quick as well. So hopefully he can produce on that top line. He's playing with Point and Kucherov, so I don't really know how you can't when you're playing with those two type of players, but we'll see what happens. As we sit 18-11-4. We've definitely picked it up the last little bit here. We're winning a lot of games, which is good to see. And is somewhat expected, if I'm being honest. But, switch the goalies here quick. But it is good to see that we are actually rebounding off a bit of a disappointing year here last year. As we sit 20-11-4, 21-11-4 now. We've been winning a lot of games here of recent, and that's very good to see. As Point is our leading scorer. Oh, Stamkos now took that from him. As we do, unfortunately, lose to the Blues there. That's our first loss in a little while. But yeah, I'm more or less content with going past the 41 game point here that we would normally stop at. It's just we've been playing so good. I'm honestly fine with just going up to the trade deadline. There's no issue at all with that for me. As unfortunately the Blues do take us down there again for the second time in about a week. They seem to have our number here, unfortunately. It is what it is. We're playing good enough without that. As we lose Sam Lafferty, so just a fourth line guy. It's nothing too crazy. It should be alright. Let's see here. As yeah, we do pass the 41 game mark. Again, I'm totally alright with just going by that for this episode. Will means the next one is probably a bit shorter, but it is what it is. We do beat the Sharks 4-3 on the West Coast swing here, as it seems. Going through all the Cali teams, and then I'm assuming all the Western Canadian teams here shortly. As, yeah, we have the Oilers and the Flames up next, so not the Canucks or Jets, but more or less the same idea there, that kind of West Coast swing. Let's take a look at everything here, see how everyone is performing here. By the looks of things, it's looking really good. Not a lot of negatives, none actually I can see. There's a couple more down here, but Jack Thompson playing really good when he came in. Everything's looking really good. We've been playing really good, we've been winning a lot of games, so not too big of a surprise here that the stats have finally started to kind of turn around a little bit, but good to see. As unfortunately we lose McNabb again. Third pairing defense, not too big of a deal. Throw Perbix back in there. Let's see, maybe he can turn around his season here. If not, that'll maybe seal his case that his time with Tampa Bay is coming to an end. We'll see what happens here. 3-1 win over the Flames. Going up against the Avalanche, we do beat them 4-1 as well. As there you go, McNabb is ready to come back. Going up against the Kraken, another win. But yeah, we've been playing really, really good here. A little bit of a slow start again, but it's just kind of one of those things. You kind of have to let the game correct itself sometimes. Not always going to have the best start in the world, but throw Alan Felt back in there for a little bit here. As we are, I believe, going into the All-Star Game break here, I want to say. Looks like we have a break for about a week in February, so would be about that time that it is the All-Star break. So coming out of that, let's go up against the Rangers. We beat them 4-3 in the shootout. But yeah, we've kind of just been clicking here. This was kind of what I was expecting last episode, but I like to see it for sure. Take out Perbix now. He had his little bit of a run. I'm not sure how he did. We'll take a look at the stats in a little bit as we get closer to the trade deadline here. Sandine they're offering us. Interesting, but I'm not looking to give up any prospects, at least right now. That might change closer to the deadline. I'm not sure if we're going to go full-on buyer, or what we really have to add to this team. I'm looking probably more at bottom six help, if anything. That kind of been where the numbers are a little bit weaker anyway, so that'll be for next episode though. We'll do the trade deadline and that short little 20-game window up until the playoffs, but switch the goalies here going against the Jackets. Shutout there. It's great to see. But Alan Paul, even he's turned his season around too. He started off like 1-3 or 1-4, so it's good to see as well. He's been a solid backup for us here over the past couple of seasons. As Stamkos goes down, that's not great. I saw March 10th. I don't know where we're currently at. Let's get Hutainen up here. Let's give him a chance. He's been playing a lot of fourth line minutes here. Not been putting up a ton of points, I assume. Let's give him a chance on this second line. He's low elite. Yeah, not great stats, just over 10 points, so it is what it is. I'm not sure how long Stamkos is out, but we need to give some of these younger guys a opportunity here if we want them to continue to grow and be a part of this team in the long run. Oh yeah, and there's Stamkos, he's back, so that wasn't a long-term injury. As we might actually hit 40 wins here by the trade deadline, which is actually crazy. See if we can do that against the Kraken, and we actually do. things you absolutely love to see. And we're actually getting Stamkos back here as well. That's going to be another huge addition. He's one of those guys that even though he's getting older, he still has those hidden EA stats that make him produce. I definitely live by that for sure. There's no way that players, when they get this old, should be doing that good without those, so it's good to get him back into the lineup anyway, let's just say. First period against the Golden Knights, 2-2. Kucherov, Malkin, Eichel, and Waugh for them. 2-4, Semenov and Marchessault, and we do unfortunately lose this game by a score of 7-4 to the Vegas Golden Knights here, and that is our final game before going into the trade deadline. So let's take a look at some stats and let's wrap everything up here today. And again, yeah, Stamkos leading the way, point right behind him. Hagel's doing really good, Kuch is still producing. Even Malkin, like, look what I'm saying, 49 points, he's crushing it. Isaac Howard, I'm a little bit disappointed with. Only 22 points, he is getting a decent amount of ice time there, so definitely something to look at for sure. Hedman, Sergachev, Kyrou has 25 points. Perfect's turned it around a little bit, but there's really, I don't see any huge holes here that we really have to fill. Goaltending again looks good as well. But I do think that is going to do it for today's episode. Like I said, in the next one we'll go through the trade deadline, and we will go through the last 20 or so games of the NHL season. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.